Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Tech Talk with Swift. I'm Joe Swift here in the building. I have a special co-host today, my good friend Roz from Roz Link Entertainment. Welcome to the show, Roz.
Thank you for having me, Joseph. It's definitely a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, cool. So I'll let you kick it off. Tell everybody.
Well, not for anything. We attended David Shan's podcast summit, and it was absolutely fabulous. It was in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was amazing. And it wasn't typical speakers and panels. It was a one-stop information for entrepreneurs on every level of business. So podcasters were able to discuss their business and get advice from industry leaders and pitch their ideas right there on the spot. It was absolutely unbelievable. And participate in impromptu podcast interviews like what we're doing right now.
There was something for everyone. There were thousands of people there. Great experience. It's my second year there. I loved it. I'm glad that I was able to bring you, so you can see it for yourself.
Definitely. You were bragging about it last year, and I was like, okay, what is this all about? But how did you first find out about David Shan's and the podcast summit?
So the way I found out about the podcast summit, I was randomly on LinkedIn, and I came across Ecamm. They had a commercial, actually a flyer that they posted about the podcast summit. I said, what's the podcast summit? I looked it up and it said Atlanta. I was like, I'm familiar with Atlanta. Then I looked at some of the names on the flyer. I was like, I know some of these people. I was like, I have to be here at this. I don't know what it is, but I got to be here. So I got some more information, and then fast forward, booked the flight and everything. I was able to go. Great experience. I actually got to work with one of the sponsors at the time, Ecamm, and help set up some of the activation centers for the podcast machines, help people, I was training people on how to do a podcast. I was going there as a spectator, but I ended up helping people create their own podcast as well. I was taking photos at the event and some networking as well.
That's amazing. And as usual, because you're Tech Talk with Joe Swift, you're all about the tech. So you were in your realm, am I right?
100%.
So let's talk about his partner, Donnie Wiggins. She built a powerful reputation as a business development coach, mentor, entrepreneur, and founder of Actionable CEO. She's the host of the Full Transparency podcast and the co-host of the Social Proof podcast. What did you think about her?
She was amazing. I knew of her. I didn't know much about her in terms of actually what she did until the summit, this past summit. So when I found out what she was able to do and what she does for the podcast summit and her team, I was like, wow. Like the stuff she does, like she teaches entrepreneurs how to get into the space, how to generate revenue. And she does it in a way that's warm and friendly. She doesn't attack it from like a complicated way where you're coming in and like to make it more complicated. Like it's warm environment, and she takes her time, but she teaches you like the details. She makes sure when you leave her program, that you have the knowledge, not just going out in the world without, the knowledge. So she's very good in what she does.
And they work together, David Shan's and Donnie Wiggins, on what is social proof. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
on
podcast.
Social proof.
I believe that comes on.
So what is social proof? So talk a little bit about social proof. What is social proof? Because they co-host together. He found his, like, it was like he found his wingman.
Yeah, definitely.
Instead of wingman, wingwoman.
So it's a podcast about, how to become an entrepreneur. It's a course. I mean, you got to wake up early in the morning and attend and do what you have to do, take your notes. And it's a wonderful thing for people that's really interested in learning the business side of how everything works. She gives you details of like her personal experience. Same thing with David. So it's not just like made up stuff or just textbook information. This is actually real life information on how to grow your business, the podcast part of it, but just your business overall, how to, take it to the next level. And it's not an easy thing to do, but they guide you, from step one until the end on how to grow your brand.
Definitely. I'm going to read this straight from their site. You can go to socialproofpodcast.com. It's a guide for everyday entrepreneurs, and they're not lying. We witnessed it firsthand. The Social Proof podcast is hosted by David Shan, entrepreneur and founder of Sleep is for Suckers, What do
Oh
you think
wow.
about that, Joe? Sleep is for
That's a
suckers.
strong title right there. I love my sleep. I don't know. I don't agree with that one, but I understand where it comes
Joe,
from.
look. Come on, you got to stay awake. Stay
Yeah, you
awake.
gotta
Sleep
stay
is for
awake.
suckers.
They don't want you
David
sleeping.
has been an authority in the entrepreneurship arena, helping individuals make the transition from their job to their dream for years, since he's done it himself in 2012. David has a very unique ability to see the holes in your business and show you step by step how to patch them with easy to apply strategies. The objective of his coaching program is to help you build, market, and monetize your ideas, not motivation, but with Money Map. That sounds amazing. With a Money Map. That's the key.
Yeah,
What do
correct.
you think, Joe?
Well, I think it's
That's
wonderful.
that's
So, when we were there, they actually had people come up and pitch their ideas, and he broke it down. Like, he listened to them. He asked them important questions that made them think to say, oh, I didn't think about this about my business.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I have to say it again. It was a one-stop shop for podcasters and entrepreneurs with the how-to lessons with their personal journeys. You agree?
100%. I agree.
Okay, let's talk about some of the speakers. Were you enthused? You went last year to this year. What was the difference? Same energy. Talk about last year to this year with the speakers.
Well, overall, both years great, wonderful. This year, I
Okay.
actually got to sit down more and really soak in the information. Last year, I was doing more running around from room to room, taking photos. Then I was in the podcast room, helping people with their podcasts. So I didn't get to sit in and, absorb all the information. I absorbed enough to say, I definitely have to come back. But this year, I got to sit
Definitely.
down, take in more information. A lot of it, I honestly, I knew from knowing this in general. There were bits and pieces that I was like, wow, okay, I didn't know this part. And there were other pieces of information that just like a refresher to let me know, okay, yes, I remember this was taught before. I have to continue doing this. But it was wonderful, inspirational information. I wish more people from my community was there and even outside my community to attend and learn. This is very inspiring being there. This is like gave you energy, like, I gotta get up and do my thing. So it was great.
Yeah, I agree. And as you said, they were accomplished business leaders, men and women who shared their success stories and insights. And that's key. They shared their personal insights. Several entrepreneurs even gave participants a chance to pitch their projects directly to industry leaders, and many seized that opportunity.
Correct. Yeah.
Am I right?
100%. Yeah. David, he let people come up, and talk about their business. And people did that. There was a line of people. That was great.
And we did too.
Yes, we
Talk a little
did.
bit about. That's right, we did too. Hello. Talk about Podcast Heroes on a Family Mission, Joe. The movie.
So we created a movie called Podcast Heroes on a Family Mission, as Roz said. It came out July 4th, 2025. It's available for digital. You can watch it on digital. And it covers myself as well as my family. Roz is in it too. She plays a part in the movie. You see her in the background there. So it's kind of based on my real life in a way where I actually in real life help people create podcasts, help them with their equipment. I included my family. My mother, she worked in radio as a young person, so a lot of inspiration from her. So I included her, and my two nieces. They're interested in it. My 4-year-old niece, she likes to be on the computer and she likes to put on the headphones. I think she likes the lights of the Roadcaster. I don't know, but the oldest one, she's into music. So I included them in the movie, and we go around our neighborhood helping people, small businesses, other young kids, grown adults. We help them build their podcast and get their voice out, whatever their message is, to their community, their fan base, so that that way they can spread the word. And that's basically a quick summary of what the movie is. It takes place mainly in Queens, New York. We do go over the George Washington Bridge, to Jersey. But it takes place in Queens, and it's a short AI animated film. It's a new technology that we're using to create these type of movies, and it's a good family, movie that you could watch with everybody. And we just hope to grow it and keep it going.
Definitely, Joe. You know what? Not for anything. It takes a lot of inspiration to do what you've done. And Tech Talk with Joe Swift, you're jumping on that AI right off the bat. Everybody's talking about AI. You just got in there and did it. Am I right?
Yeah, 100%. I had an idea in my head. I said I have to get it out of my head and make it, real.
And you were on a mission. That's why the name is perfect. It's perfect. You were on a family mission.
It just worked out that way. But yes, 100%.
And how can people check out the movie?
So you could find the movie on podcastheroesthemovie.com. That's podcastheroesthemovie.com.
And when we were at the podcast summit, the beauty is that David and Donnie, they give you the opportunity to pitch them. So we did. And here's the interview. Okay, and with David and Donnie, the dynamic duo from Podcast Summit 2025. This is absolutely fabulous. You guys do a wonderful job. You got to tell me when it first started and why you did it. We know why, but expand a little more for my viewers.
2023, because people need to know how to free their own voices.
And when did you first find your voice?
When did I first find my voice? I was a grown man, for sure. Because I remember I wanted to be a motivational speaker, but I was trying to be E.T.'s voice, or I was trying to be more rah-rah, and that wasn't my voice. And my coach CJ was like, yo, it's okay to be yourself. You have your own unique style. People will love your style. And that's kind of when I found my voice. It had to be 2016, 2015, around there.
And how have you seen the summit grow?
The numbers every year.
Every year, definitely. And Donnie, you are fabulous.
Thank you.
Please talk about your business and how you've helped other entrepreneurs just shine, because I love that about both of you.
Thank you. So I am a business development strategist. I work with entrepreneurs every single day to help them start, grow, and scale their businesses. But I tend to lean more into transformational business models that have a purpose behind them rather than the money-making or solely money-making businesses. So I highlight entrepreneurs. We highlight entrepreneurs on our platforms, and we help them build business on purpose.
And just shout out your panel. The panel was absolutely fabulous. From E.T. to Willie to Red Circle to Gusto. I mean, you guys.
Well, you're shouting them out.
Not for anything. This is the first time I've come to the summit, and it's absolutely fabulous. I was invited by my colleague here, Joseph Swift, because he also is into podcasting and have a new movie, Podcast Heroes, on a family mission.
This is beautiful.
And it is a 14-minute movie, and it talks about people going around podcasting, and it's a podcasting family. And what they do is they entertain other podcasters, and they show them how to set up, doing everything that you're doing, but it's an animated AI-generated movie. So we're moving into that AI space. Okay. So, this is also a place where you can make a pitch. So what we're trying to pitch is, would you be interested in AI-generated segment of Podcast Summit? And look, the Donnie and David duo.
I don't know.
It's something different.
I don't know. I like it.
The Donnie and David duo.
No, it's not a bad idea.
It's not a no. We just need to know more.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell you more.
All right.
So
why don't you guys put together like a 60-minute, 90-minute teaser, and let us take a look at it, feel it, and then we'll go from there.
That sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
In a city full of dreams, there's always someone with a story, just waiting to be heard. And if you listen close enough, you'll find that the heartbeat of every community lives in its voices, raw, real, and ready to rise. My name is Pauline Swift, and I've seen a lot in my day. From payphones to podcasts, mixtapes to live streams, I've watched technology change. But one thing stays the same. People still want to be heard. That's why my family and I started something special, something bigger than a hobby, a mission. Armed with microphones, mixers, and Moxie, we travel across our neighborhood and beyond, helping everyday folks turn their stories into sound waves that can change lives. We call ourselves the podcast heroes. And together, we're on a family mission to amplify voices, inspire change, and remind the world that every voice matters, even yours.
All right, Mom, today's agenda. Help Dawn at the Nourish Spot start her podcast, teach the Delgado sisters how to stream their book club class, and set up O'Neill Reed with his radio station.
Let's make these voices shine, baby. The mic is mightier than the sword.
See, at the Nourish Spot, we're not just blending smoothies. We're passing down traditions in a way that helps our community live longer, feel stronger, and thrive. Because good food isn't just about flavor, it's about life, legacy, and love.
You're bottling more than smoothies, Dawn. You're preserving stories, healing, and history. Let's turn that wisdom into waves. Hit record on a legacy worth listening to.
That's the kind of truth folks need to hear, Dawn. You're not just feeding bodies, you're feeding futures. Say it just like that.
All right then, let's make this mic feel like Sunday dinner. Y'all ready?
Born ready. Let's serve up some soul.
To everyone tuning in, this ain't just a podcast. This is a seat at my table, a space for stories, for strength, and for soul food that don't come on a plate. I built the Nourish Spot to feed the community, but I've learned healing ain't just in the herbs and fruit. It's in our voices, our truth, our joy. So, if you're listening, welcome home. Let's nourish each other, one story at a time.
Okay, Joe, let's talk about tech. Talk about some of the participants, the fellow podcasters that are just like you.
Oh, well, the people in attendance, there were people from all different backgrounds, from beginners to people that were advanced. But I found that I networked with a lot of people that were just getting into it. They work in the business space, they work in politics and all different areas, and they were there to soak up the information. I was able to meet a few people and just sit down or stand up and talk with them on their podcast. A lot of them, they said to me that they're just getting started. They're trying to figure out, what equipment to get, what to name their show. So they came there for the information. It was good networking, positive vibes, and it's just a friendly place and a wonderful place to network, to gain more information about your brand and how to grow it. And there's other people there on the same level as you, so that you don't feel like overwhelmed and scared to say, oh my goodness, all the people that's here, they've been in the business for 20, 30 years. I'm a new person. You find a lot of people that's new and they help each other out, go to the next level. So that's one of the things that I loved about the podcast summit. And it continues because we stay in contact with each other, phone calls, text messages to see how, each other's going, and we motivate each other. So this year, same vibe.
That's amazing. What about some of the industry leaders that were there?
Some of the leaders, we had one of my favorites, Jason Lee. He was amazing. That was the end of day 2. If you were sleeping, he woke you up. I'll just leave it at that. You must watch it.
Was he a little raw and unfiltered?
I'm not going to say anything. I don't want it to be taken down from YouTube or any of those platforms. He was amazing. Wall Street. We had on day 1, we had the Wall Street Trapper, and the way he presented himself was different to me, because he came from the streets and he combined Wall Street with the streets, which is not easy to do. And he's very successful in what he's doing in his lane. So I thank him for being, his true, genuine self, because it makes it easier for people, from certain backgrounds to move forward when they see people that look like them and sound like them.
Definitely. Well, we don't want to give it all away,
Yeah.
so we're going to shout out some of the speakers, because next year, you should come to the podcast summit if you're interested in podcasting. And they have people from all different industries that have never started a podcast, and they're beginning podcasts. And I have to be I'm one of them. I'm not a podcaster. And look, I'm here. Joe's like, Rod, you got to do podcasts. So look, I'm here. I'm here with Joe Swift. So
You're not new to media.
I'm not new to media, no. Only produced over more than 400 television shows. Yes, you're right. I'm not just a little bit. Just a little bit. So some of the speakers, now, Joe, you were there. You took pictures, which was wonderful. You took a little video. Let's talk also a little bit about the breakout panels. You know, they had different rooms, you're networking, you're doing impromptu interviews, you know, at their stations. Let's talk about some of the breakout panels.
Well,
so talk about the one with Freshie. And of course, Daniel Jeter.
Yes, that was a very important one for me because I stay more in the tech field. So they talked about PR when it's needed, you know, if you should, you know, you'll know when it's time for your company, your brand to have that service. It's not for everybody, especially in the beginning. It has to make sense for your brand. So the panel, it spoke in great detail on what you should do, what you shouldn't do, you know, should you spend your money, you know, when to spend it. I learned a lot from each speaker. And for me, it was just another eye opener to let me know that there's room for growth and I have to just keep going to get to that level. Because one thing that was said, I forgot which speaker said it, but they said something in the lines of, you don't just try to go on BET or those major platforms and you're just starting out. Even if you're able to get on, it may not be executed properly because your brand is not on that level yet. So it takes time for your brand to grow. So that way you could be on those big platforms and it'll make sense. Not this, you know, I want to be on, you know, in this magazine or on this campaign. It may not make sense so early in your career. So that's one thing.
So you have to be a little patient. You have to grow your business.
Yeah, and you have to grow your business to pay the people. Don't tell them only have $1,500 and it starts at $1,500 for like the first couple of days or a week, and you need the campaign to run for, you know, weeks if not months. So make sure you have your money ready as well. You know?
Right. And just to give a little context to it, we sat in on a breakout panel facilitated by the one and only Daniel Jeter, and the subject was using traditional media to grow your podcast and your brand. So let me tell you a little something about Daniel Jeter. She's another dynamo. I love that one of her missions is to help women in business as the founder of Women in Business Media Global. She's a speaker, a PR strategist. She's known to help scale 7- and 8-figure brands. The panel that we sat in on had Ebony Porter Ike from EPI Media Group, Vaughn Alvarez, Public Relations CR8 Agency, Freshie from I Am Freshie, and Mercedes Smith, Head of Corporate Communications and PR of BET Media Group. They were fabulous. I was in awe with every one of them. And what I also took from it, you have to always think out the box. Not everything is just handed to you. You have to think out the box. You have to always be able to reposition yourself depending on your client and what job you have to do. We do a lot of media releases and thumbnails and stuff like that, but they gave a lot of insight. I'm not going to give it away because you should have been there, on how you can grow your brand and to grow your business and to select different people that would help your business to grow.
Correct.
Now, we were able to get a little soundbite from Miss Jeter. Take a look. Danielle, that was absolutely fabulous. A lot of pearls were given out during that presentation. You have to talk about yourself a little bit. How did you get started in the industry, in the business?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. So I'm Danielle Jeter, the founder of AOI Events and PR and also Women in Media Global. And I got my start through theater arts and dance.
Oh, very nice.
That introduced me to the world of events. And I began to coordinate shows, sell tickets to shows, and not just choreograph, but be able to market the shows, be able to do sales and things like that. And that introduced me to the world of special events. Special events then took me to radio.
Oh.
So I said, hey, when I graduated from Spelman College, I said, I'm going to go back to Philadelphia, but I want to continue to brand myself as a event production specialist, the radio station had a promotions department. So I said, well, I could do events with the promotions department. And little did I know, I was able to walk away with a totally new skill set of being able to produce talk radio.
Definitely.
Talk radio introduced me to PR.
So one thing segued to another thing. Now, you specialize in women in media.
I do.
love that. Tell me about that niche and why you did it.
I started Women in Media maybe 4 years after I started my PR agency, because I began to notice that something was shifting and happening behind the scenes in the industry.
Yes.
And this was 4 years before Me Too.
Oh, wow.
I began to collect the stories of women to say, hey, what's going on? How's your experience working on behalf of these major media companies? And I just started to learn that there was a lot of discrimination happening. And I said, hey, we have to do something to remind women to own their voice.
Right.
And I launched Women in Media on Temple University's campus as a conference to remind women to own their voice.
Now, how is it as a producer, director, TV host, and you are also an author?
Author? I'm not an author.
You're author of all the
Of an ebook.
Of the ebook. She's the author of the ebook. Go
Now,
ahead.
maybe you're speaking into my future.
Yes.
A book is definitely coming on the horizon. But, I mean, it feels great. It feels like God continues to just throw me into, like, the unknown.
The unknown.
And I'm like, okay, God, you want me to do what now?
That's next on the horizon for all the women. So tell us how you got involved with the summit. How did that all start and begin?
So, a little known secret, David's my cousin.
Ooh, okay,
And
that's
I've been with him before we could even drive, okay? But David has always been somebody that I looked up to. So wherever David goes, here I come. And he moved to Atlanta and finished high school here, and I came to college right after. So literally, whatever David would do, I would do. David started a business. I said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna start a business. David selling t-shirts. I said, okay, let's do some events. And every coach that David has hired, I hired the same coaches. So we have just been supporting each other as family, as friends, as mentor mentees since day one. I mean, he's a big inspiration, and just to see how he's grown Podcast Summit, I'm like, yo, bro, don't forget me.
It's
what you got for me, bro?
Absolutely amazing. Everybody's talking about the summit and all the pearls that they got from different speakers and how they're going to grow their business. How does that feel that you impact and David have impacted so many entrepreneurs to move their business forward? Because that's the purpose. It's a one-stop shop summit. That's how I feel.
I'm just a vessel being used by God. I honestly do whatever he tells me to do. This is not my dream. I'm literally living proof of a person who has surrendered and is walking by faith. I thought I was going to be a dancer. I went to Spelman College.
Oh my God.
And I got a degree in theater arts and dance and history. And I thought, oh, I'm going to teach and dance. But God had such a bigger vision for me. And so I'm just happy that there's more talent in me that he continues to pull out, and I'm grateful that I'm able to inspire and encourage another person.
Well, with that being said, I think the next thing on her horizon is that book. That book. She's got to become an author because she's given away so many pearls, and it's wonderful to share that information. Thank you so much, Danielle, for what you're doing for the community. It's wonderful. Thank you.
This was a great interview. Thank you for having me.
What about some of the industry leaders that were there?
Yeah, one of the big names was Freshie. You know, he's an award-winning publicist. He gave a lot of good information. You know, he was speaking to us about how your brand may not be ready for his service. So don't come yet to his, to his brand and trying to get high-level quality, publicist work, especially when you're just starting out. You have to grow it. So I took away a lot of, key information from what he was talking about.
And also, you're forgetting one little part. He introduced you to one of his clients, Tell.
Oh, yes.
Producer, director, movie maker. You can't forget that, Joe.
Yes, we
talk a little bit about Tell.
So I got to meet Tell after the panel, and he was telling me that he has a movie out, and we were speaking a little bit behind the scenes of how it was created and what platform. Well, he told me he had it on some of the major platforms, so that made me think and to ask him, how did you get it on those platforms? And he used a service. I'm not going to give it away, but he used a service that I'm currently using. So it let me know that I was on the right path to getting my movie out to a bigger platform. So we spoke about that for a few minutes. We exchanged contact information, but he's a very, wonderful person, and he knows a lot about the business side of movie making, as well as, the actual creating the movie. He knows the whole process. So definitely someone that I'm gonna stay in contact with. I'm glad, both of us was able to meet him at the podcast summit. Really thankful for that.
Yes. And his movie is on Stars, and we're going to drop that clip right now. The beauty of the podcast summit is about networking, learning, and being introduced to new ideas and meeting people who are very successful. Now, Tel here is very successful. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself and his movie that is on Stars. Go ahead, Tel.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Rosalind. And I'm a serial entrepreneur turned filmmaker, also about to put out a podcast myself, based on the inspiration from the film itself.
Very nice. And tell us about the film.
The film is called Trap City. It has Brandon T. Jackson, known for Tropic Thunder, Atlanta's very own Jeezy in the movie, Omar Gooding, and Clifton Powell. And the name of the podcast is Mind Trap, and based on the Trap City. So the podcast is all about how can one free themselves from the trap, and the trap lives in your mind. So if you focus on that, you pretty much can get out of the trap. The trap could be societal trap, drug trap, addiction trap, glam trap, attention trap.
Whoa! There's too many traps there. There could be the money trap.
Exactly. It could be anything, right? And so how do you get out of that? So it's a companion to the film, right? Because the film has its own life, then this podcast continues the life beyond that.
Very nice. And where are you going to be hosting your podcast? Where are you physically going to be? What did you decide yet? Are you still working it out?
I'm based out of Detroit, Michigan.
Very nice.
But I'm all over all the entertainment cities in the U.S. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Atlanta is one of them. Nashville, Miami, L.A., New York, Connecticut, and of course, my own hometown, Detroit.
Very nice. Well, we're going to invite you to New York. Wait, the camera guy here is Joseph Swift. Yeah, Joseph, are we inviting him to New York for your podcast?
Yeah. Yes, we are. Yeah, there you go. Let's get it.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Good luck.
Congratulations on your new endeavor and continued success.
All right.
You're already successful.
Thank you.
We went from floor to floor talking to vendors and attendees. Here's Gabriel from High Level.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much.
God.
I know, doesn't the swag look amazing?
It looks absolutely amazing. I was telling Joseph, we got to go over there. High Level is pretty hot. Tell us about High Level.
All right. High Level is insane. It is such a cool tool. Okay, imagine your business, right? You have your email software, you have your ClickFunnels software, you have your social media software, you have all these softwares that you're paying for individually. High Level decided, let's build something even better. Let's put an all-in-one tool that can hold all of your contacts, help email them, do nurture all of the contacts, anywhere from managing all of your projects, handling all of your clients, and making sure that you close the leads. It's a solid platform. It's crazy. It's amazing.
So it sounds like a one-stop shop with one click goes everywhere you want it to go. Is that how it works?
Punto y aparte in Spanish. It's end of story. That's exactly right.
That is absolutely amazing. All I can say is High Level is pretty high.
Right? Are we about to go high level?
You got to come up.
There you go.
High level.
It's amazing. Yeah. If you have the opportunity, go check out High Level. It gives you the opportunity to really build out a space that's suited just for your business and even just for your clients. You can curate it the way you want it for them, for you, and give them the opportunity to scale their business while you're scaling yours.
And give out that information. Where can people find you? Come on.
Go highlevel.com.
Keisha, how are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Great. So what brings you to the summit?
Okay, so I'm here. Actually, I have my own podcast, but I'm here today working as a vendor in this space on behalf of Dr. Eric Thomas. He was on stage yesterday, and he had everybody in the room chant, "I can, I will, I must." So I'm selling some merchandise for him here at the Podcast Summit.
Awesome. So that's E.T., everyone. And he was absolutely fabulous. And he kept chanting and had everybody chanting, "I can, I will, and I must."
Yes.
Just check it out right here. There you go. There you go. So Keisha also has a podcast.
Yes.
Keisha, tell us about your podcast and what you do, Keisha.
Okay, so most people know me as Keisha the Electrician, and that's because I've been an electrician, licensed journeyman wireman for 30 years. But now I help children understand about the benefit of the skilled trades, and I also go into the corporate space and I talk to the maintenance team specifically about how to understand and realize that they are leaders, because leaders add value and solve problems. And nobody thinks about maintenance until they have to solve a problem or get something fixed. So they're adding value and solving problems every day, and they don't even realize it. So they're leaders.
Well, what I love about what you do, a lot of people don't even realize, wow, there's a lot of money to be made in being an electrician.
Yes.
Also, to multi-level market, you can have a podcast about it.
Yes.
You can do many things. When you're designing your house, you need to have an electrician in mind, and how do you want certain things set up, certain outlets. If you're doing music, if you're doing a studio,
Yes.
there's different things that you just can't have. Am I correct?
That is very,
Come on, expand on
very
that.
true. So my podcast is Alpha Intuition, and I help people to become the CEO of their life. And CEO stands for Create, Eliminate, Organize. And like I said, this is season 3 for me. I'm on episode 51, and I'm in my 3rd season where I'm talking about leadership lessons that I learned in the field. So like I said, all of this skilled trades, people don't even think about it. They don't even think about buildings like this. There were so many different people that had to put hands on this building.
That's right.
To make sure that it came to fruition. So right now there are over 500,000 open positions in the skilled trades. So what I do is tell kids specifically that you can make a great living from earning and learning a skilled trade. So now me, like I say, for 30 years, it's something that I don't, even if I had to go back and do it over, I wouldn't change it, because it helped me to afford the lifestyle I have for my family. You know, I put my children through college. I have an 18-year-old about to start college next week at Clark Atlanta.
Well, you only look about 25, so I don't know how that happened. We're not going to go there today, tomorrow, any day. Okay, Keisha?
Yes, but the skilled trades are definitely something that I think people, they miss over. So not only can kids go to college, they can go to the military, but they can actually go to an apprenticeship school and earn a skilled trade. And I say earn it because you have to go and you have to understand, you have to get hands-on training. So you earn as you learn, and you're making money along the way. Somebody starts at 18, by the time they're 23, and they're going to be making 6 figures.
Definitely, definitely. And to be that type of entrepreneur is fabulous.
Yes, definitely.
So thank you, Keisha, for what you do.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you interviewing me today.
So in addition to all of this, there was a lot of networking, resourceful information available for all the participants, which was absolutely fabulous. You had High Level and Grow with Gusto, and they provided information for startups and established businesses. So it didn't matter what level you were at, there was a service for you. So here's Monique Jackson from Grow with Gusto. They are one of the biggest sponsors here today. So talk about Gusto and what services that you provide.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Monique, as she said. So Gusto is an all-in-one platform for small and medium businesses. What that means is all that back-end work, all that administrative stuff, payroll, HR, benefits, 401k, we take it off your plate so you can focus on the most important thing to you, which is growing your business.
And how do you first start up with Gusto? What is the paperwork involved? How do you contact Gusto? And come on, just...
Yeah, all the things? Okay, so listen, gusto.com, right? I think that what it starts with is a conversation. Tell us about your business. How many employees do you have? How many employees do you want to grow with? What are you looking to do? Do you want to offer benefits? Do you just want to do payroll? And then there, because what's most important to us is we're customer obsessed. So we're going to make sure that whatever it is your goal is, it becomes our goal, and we're going to help you get there. Onboarding is very easy. We have Gusties, as we like to call them, that are going to be right there for you to help you migrate, integrate all of your information, your data, and put you on that path for building your business.
So typically for a startup, what do you normally get with people that are startup and have maybe just 3 employees?
Yeah, so usually what happens is folks that only have 3 employees, maybe they're paying them right in some maybe more non-traditional ways. So they're using the Zelle and the Cash App. What we do first is let's get these people onboarded. Let's make sure that taxes are being taken out, because Uncle Sam will come around the corner every now and then. We're going to make sure that that paperwork is properly filled out. They're taken care of. And then we're also going to make sure it's automated. You're going to help make sure it's set up that first time. We're going to make sure we get all the bugs out, and then it's just going to keep going for you. You want to onboard someone new? We're going to make sure that that person, they're going to get that email, they're going to get automatically set up. So when you first reach out to Gusto, we're going to find out who you have, what you need, and then we're going to make sure that that's done for you.
And lastly, what does that dashboard look like? Are you able to get and populate a spreadsheet? Not for anything, with business owners, and you need to know how, who's paying what, how it's taken out, and let's see what it looks like if you need to look at it a month later, 2 months later, a year later. If Uncle Sam needs to look at it later.
Up to 7 years, right?
Up to 7 years.
No, absolutely. So I think that the great thing about our interface, it's all about the UX UI. That is number one. So when you go in on the back end, you're going to be able to see all those things. You can customize reports. You can have automatic downloadable reports. And one thing that's really cool about our platform, we're not running away from AI, we're leaning into it. So even if you don't know what you need, you can ask what we call Gus, our internal AI agent, that's going to make sure that all of those questions are answered for you. It's going to make sure that you're getting the right reports. And if you're not sure what you need to know, and you're like, I have an employee in California, is there anything I should keep track of? They're going to say, hey, absolutely. It's an employee-friendly state, so you need to make sure that you're doing X, Y, and Z, and that's going to be done for you, automated, and it's going to make sure, too, you might get an alert if there's something you missed. So those are all of the interfaces that are behind the platform.
This is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Gusto, for what you do.
Oh, thank you. Nice meeting you. Thanks for sitting down with us on our comfy couch.
It had to be on the comfy couch. It's awesome. What do you give the summit from 1 to 10?
I give it a 15. No, it was great. It's one of those things that I feel you must attend. It's worth the money. If you're serious about starting a podcast or just being in media on that level and learning about business, it's something that you definitely should attend. The wonderful thing I love about it, they don't force you to buy anything at the end. There's no got you. If you're not happy, you just go. I mean, you pay your money to go, but you're not forced to buy any books or take any classes. I mean, you could if you want to move forward, but you're not forced to.
Yeah. And they had a lot of information that they provided from their stories, their experiences, and just resources that they've learned about, which I thought was really, really key. And the summit was amazing. And their mantra was record.
I can't see your bag, but record.
Record.
Oh, let's record.
Release. Wait. Repeat.
Oh, I've been doing that for years. So I've been following it before I even knew. But yeah, that's a good mantra.
Well, thank you, Joseph, for inviting me. It was fun to come out and, attend the podcast summit. And I'm officially a podcaster as of today.
Woo, I'll probably play some sound effects, maybe. Woo. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Tech Talk with Swift. Stay tuned for the next episode. Make sure you follow me at Tech Talk with Swift on Instagram and also J Swift Photos. Thank you, Roz.
Thank you. And you can follow me on Roz Link 2.
Woo,
Roz Link 2, because about time I'm posting stuff on Instagram. It took me a while because I was lazy, but I'm posting stuff now.
She's on Instagram, everybody, finally. He got her on. All right, everybody. See you next time.
Tap breaking through the grid. Join the team with the latest bid. One step ahead in the tech frontier. From code to cloud, the vision's clear. No limits here, just drive. We live for the spark, the flow, the vibe. Tech Talk ready, we're setting the stage. Swift and the crew at the cutting edge. Innovation burning, ideas in flames. dreams to devices we trust. Talking the tools that are shaping us. Wires and waves or the code that flies. Every question gets a bold reply. Running wild with a vision true. Breaking it down so it's clear for you. No looking back, the future's here. So turn it up, let the whole world hear. Every line of code rewrites the scene. The future's built on this routine. Yeah!